Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the melody line in a song and combine that with your chords to create some pretty awesome voicings. So the song I'm going to use in this video for an example is called King of Kings. It's by Hillsong Worship, and I'm going to show you in the key of D. So there's 6 steps that you need to follow to create these voicings. So the first step we're going to focus on our right hand. First thing you need to do is just learn the melody. Now, one thing I've realized is that the melody line of almost every CCM worship song is going to follow the major scale of the key that the song is in. So if the song's in the key of D and you play a D major scale, the melody line is going to sit in those notes. It's very rare that you find a song where the melody line falls outside of the major scale. So it's really important just to learn the major scale of whatever key the song that you're playing in. And obviously the melody line isn't going to be inside this one octave. Sometimes it'll go up, and it can come down. So just make sure that you know the major scale a couple octaves, and that will help make it easier for you to find the melody line once you actually go to learn it. And so for this song, King of Kings, I'm going to focus just on the chorus section. And so I'll play it and sing it for you real quick so you get an idea of how it sounds. So it goes like this. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three and one, God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. So the first thing we're going to do is learn that melody line with our right hand. And so sometimes if you're new at this, it can be kind of a trial and error to figure it out. But just remember that the notes are going to be in this major scale on almost every song. And so if you're not quite sure what note it is, just try one of the 7 possible notes, and then it'll be one of those. If we play the melody line just with our right hand, it goes like this. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three and one, God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. So once you learn the melody line with your right hand, then let's go to our left hand and make sure that we have the bass notes. So we'll do this in 3 parts. We'll start off just with a single note, and then we'll add octaves, and then we'll add the 5th to our left hand. So let's start with one note. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three and one, God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. So you can see this chord progression is pretty simple. It's only 4 chords. It's D, G, B, which in your right hand you'll play a B minor, so that's a B minor chord. But with your left hand, obviously, you're only playing one note, which is a B, and then A, which is your 5. So now let's go back and do it again, but we'll add octaves. So praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three and one, God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. So now that you have octaves, we'll go back and we'll add the 5th to it. Now this is something that I've learned over time, and I use it all the time, combining a 3-note kind of a bass chord in your left hand, combining it with your right hand. It's really helpful. So I really encourage you to really learn how to use the 5th note of your left hand when you're playing these. Now here's the exception. You're not going to play the 5th note on your slash chords. So your 2 main slash chords are your 1/3 and your 5/7. So in the key of D, your 1/3 would be an F sharp bass, because your right hand's playing a D chord over that F sharp. And then the 5/7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be your C sharp. And then your chord in the right hand would be an A. So those are the only 2 chords that you don't, and I'll show you how it works. So if we walk up this major scale, octave Ds with a 5th, that's your 1. Your 2 minor, you slide it up. Your 1/3 is your slash chord. So that's where your fifth is going to change. Usually you'd think it would be this, but a D chord over that F sharp, it doesn't work. So kind of what you're thinking is you're playing the slash chord with your left hand because you're playing a D chord in your right hand. So then you play the D note in your right with over that F sharp bass. And then you go to your G, and then your A, and then your B minor. And then here's your next slash chord, your 5/7. It would be an A over C sharp, which doesn't work, so you need to move your fifth to match the chord that you're playing in your right hand, which is an A chord. So you move that to an A note, and you're back to your 1. So it's 1, 2 minor, 1/3, 4, 5, 6 minor, 5/7, and your 1. So really learn that. I really, really encourage you, no matter what key that you're in, practice it in all the different keys. It'll really help you moving forward as you play. Because what that allows you to do, if you move your left hand up closer to your right hand, it allows you to play the chord, kind of say, like if I want to play a D chord, like a D over G, well, I'm playing a D chord like that, and it opens up my other 4 fingers to play the melody line. So that's why I like doing that as opposed to just a 1 note. Now you're kind of playing a D in this position. Now you only have 3 fingers, which you still can do it, but having more available fingers to play a melody line or to play an extra hook or something like that is going to make it easy, and it's going to sound a lot better. So now that we have our left hand, including the fifth, now we're going to combine the melody line with the bass. So now that we've combined the melody and the bass note, now we want to forget the melody for a second and make sure that we can play the chords on our right hand. So, praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, 3 and 1. So on that 5 chord, the only thing I do is I hit that sus4 and then resolve it to the A. So it's just a 5 sus4 or an A sus4 to an A. And keeps going. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Now, I don't really like the way I played those chords because they're kind of all over the place. So usually what I like to do is choose chord inversions where the top note is closest to that melody line, because the closer it is, the easier it is to incorporate the melody line with your chord. Like, again, you don't want to play a D here and then have a note up here. You know, you want to play a D here, or if you go to a G and the melody line's here, you want to be able to play the chords close together and make sure that the notes are close together. And so you want to choose chord inversions where your top note is closest to the melody. So kind of work through the song and figure out which inversions you want to do for each chord. So, the Father, and then it goes to a G chord, so we can go here, praise the Son, or we can go here. It's the same distance, so I like to probably do it here. Praise, so we could do a B minor here. And then my A sus4. 3 and 1, so we could do like, that probably makes more sense because the melody comes down. So instead of playing my A sus4 here, do it here, and then back. And then the first G was here, but now because the melody jumps up, we're gonna have to bring our inversion up to here. Kind of like that. My B minor. There's my A. Like that. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. It just pick inversions and chords that feel right to you, but just kind of keep in mind that you want that melody line to be on top of the chord. So this last part is where you figure out the voicings. But what you want to do, I really don't like playing the melody line all the way through. What I like to do is pick the melody line notes that land on the chord. So I'll show you what I mean. So praise the Father, praise. So right here, you're hitting an A note over a G chord. So if you combine that melody line with the chord, you're playing a G sus2. Here's your G, and then you're adding the 2. So what you can do is when the melody line is not in the chord, you can either add it to the chord. So in this case, we hit a G, but the melody is an A. So you can play it like that and add it to the chord, or you can replace the top note with the melody line, which I think sounds better in this case. So, praise the Father. So that's my voicing for this chord. The Son. Now here's a B minor, but the melody is on an A, so that is a B minor 7. Here would be a B minor, but you're playing the 7 because the melody line is hitting that 7. And so I usually just play it like that. Now this is kind of a cool chord because it's a A sus4 is what you're playing, but the melody line is hitting this 6 note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 and 1. So if you play an A sus4 and you include that, it's kind of too muddy around here. So usually what I'll do is I'll replace the top note with my melody note. And you can see what that did with my right hand. I'm playing an A sus4, but by changing it to playing the melody instead of my top note, now my chord changed. So now I'm playing a D chord over an A bass. But now because I did that, here this E, it doesn't quite sound right. And so what you want to do if something doesn't sound right is probably change the note to fit the melody. And now we're back to the A sus4, and you can resolve it. So you can kind of play 3 chords where there's technically one should go. So usually it's just an A, but you can do a D over A sus4, and then resolve it. So adding that extra kind of level of chord playing is really where you get the cool voicings. And then you can even add some extra stuff. And then you go back to the chorus. God of glory. Now this is a cool chord. It's a G, but you're playing a, what is that, 5, a flat 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so if you play a G, that doesn't really sound right. So let's remove the top note of the G. That also doesn't sound good either. So the way I play it is like this. Now the reason I do that, I was actually thinking about this to prepare for this video, why I play this. I don't really know, but what I could come up with is when you're playing like a root chord and you kind of walk up and down, right when you get to that 4, that's kind of the progression that I like. And so when you hit the melody line, with it hitting that flat 5, this 2 just kind of works with it. So it's kind of a weird chord. And you finish on the G chord. And then that's just a B minor. Praise for, and this is a cool chord, ever to. So that is a B minor over a G. And that's your A sus4. Now you notice it's a slash chord, and usually I said you don't play the 5th when you play a slash chord. In this case you do, because your Ds are combined. Or your 5th is matching one of the notes in your chord. So it works there. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Basically, you're just using the melody line to add it to your chords. Praise the Father, praise. There's my G2, Son. Praise this is a B minor 7, D over A sus4, resolve it. God of So I hope that helps you how you can use a melody line and combine some of those melody notes with your chords to create cool voicing. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.